Hey everyone, welcome to an all-new Max Chroma video. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to ScreenTone Eternal. This is my flagship software product I now have available on my web store at payhip.com/maxchroma. And when we click on that product, right now it's 50% off on sale, so it's only $200, normally $400. This product includes all the other products on the web store, and it has ScreenTone Eternal, which is the desktop lifetime license upgrade version of the ScreenTone Pro software. This now works as a PC installer and for Mac, iOS, or Android. I can give you a link that'll install it locally and it'll run offline. So this is all about having something that's no longer, if you were a subscriber or are a subscriber to the online version already, you're always paying towards owning this version. And if you want to get the sale price version, just let me know. The other aspect of it is that once you pay this one-time fee or price, you will always get upgrades to this product as I continue to improve it over time, and that's indefinitely. So what I'm going to show you right now is when you purchase the product, you're going to get a download link right away to download these different zip files that are including portions of the software, the installer, the documentation, and other helper apps. And the email you'll want to keep track of when it sends you the email as well. Just save that so you can continue to get the free updates in the future. Or just let me know and I'll send you another link to it. But basically, I'm going to show you right now in this video installing the main app. So I'm going to download the ScreenTone Eternal 1.0.2.zip. And I'm going to go right to my downloads folder. And we're just going to extract that here. Right-click extract or double-click it and extract it. I think you'd go and double click and then say extract all with that button if you're on a PC, Windows. Now inside this folder, we have this executable file. When I double click that, you might get a warning that it just says it doesn't understand or recognize this app, but you just click more info and you say run anyway, install it. This is just an installer file for the program. There's nothing harmful, any viruses or anything like that in there. So we're just going to run anyway. It installs the PC version of ScreenTone Eternal version 1.0.2. And it'll pop up right away when it's done. We can just maximize the window and see this software. I'm going to close it and show you it's now an icon on my desktop and it's in my start menu. Down here all the way at under S, we have ScreenTone Eternal version 1.0.2. Double click it, opens up. Maximize it here. So just really quick, we can load an image file and it defaults to work with an image just putting it into red, white, and black 3-color mode. So if I open an image that already is just red, white, and black colors, like blending together, if I go to the adjustments, I want to make sure I'm looking at the source image. So when you have source image checked, you're going to see the source on the left, the original on the right, or the original source image on the left and the processed image on the right. Go back to the File tab. So the palette colors here, we'll just set to 3 so you see what it's doing. In default mode, 3 colors. If I scroll down here, you'll see the custom palettes. We can just change it to different palettes or save them. The set palette colors automatically. I'll just go over that next in just after this. It's defaulting to be in halftone and gradient separations mode. So what we're looking at right now is gradient mode, and you can go down here and click halftones enabled. So at any time you can just check the checkbox and view it in halftones or view it as the gradients. And if we look at the separations down here, separation view mode, it defaults to full color. I can look at separation 1, 2, or 3. And so I can immediately just take this image. It's already split to these 3 channels, basically, black, white, and red. And I can save those channels out. And they're like color separations or masks of the 3 colors. And I can just view each one, view it in halftones or not. And when you're in halftone mode, it's all real time. So we can rotate the angle of that halftone. We can change the scale of the halftone, okay, like low LPI, 5 lines per inch with a 10-inch image. It's very large dots. We raise the LPI up and the dots will get smaller. So let's say I go to 45 LPI and it's at 10 inches. The default is to take the pixels of the image, whatever it is, and just set the width to 10 inches. So your resolution in DPI will change accordingly. If I was to set that to 300, 300 like that, we'd see it's about 16 inches wide. But if I want to set it to 10 inches wide, it would be about 500 DPI just by default with the size of the image I loaded. It had a lot of pixels to work with, so it's going to be high resolution when you just set the inches to 10 like that. So that's all relative, but I can change the LPI to, right now it's going to be 45 lines per inch dots when I print it at 10 inches. And so I can scroll down here and view separation 1, separation 2, or separation 3, or just in full color. And we could save each of those out, and they're just basically ready to print, you know? You can go to another app and add registration marks or create an underbase for it, but I'll show a lot of this stuff as I continue to do videos in the series. The only other thing I want to show for this video, besides loading the image, how it defaults to the 3-color mode, oh yeah, you can change the shape of the halftone dots. So right now, these dots, if I zoom in on this here, they're an elliptical dot at that 22, or sorry, the angle right now, I need to change this. So rotate that angle back to maybe 22.5, hit enter. And the shape of the dot we can change: round shape, circle, diamond, cross, triangles, hexagons, lines, smooth lines, just a little bit smoother, crescent, cones, blue noise, or touring. And really these ones we would want to set the LPI or the scaling a little bit higher. They're not exactly relative to it. The touring one is really cool. So it does these sort of touring pattern blends out of the separation. The blue noise one is nice because you can set that, again, the size, the halftone scaling you want to set, but the cool part is it's at an angle. So we can change the angle of a indexed separation or diffusion separation. This one uses a blue noise. 22.5, we can change the scaling down. Okay. And so everything is relative to this real-time way of functioning, and you don't even have to look at it in that halftone mode. You can do things like blur it a little bit to sort of give you a print preview. So if I go to Adjustments tab, Final Effects after halftoning, and I do blur down to about like 25, you see how much you can add more or less blur with these buttons, left or right. You see how that sort of blurs the halftone effect? And you can still change it. You can still make this, change the angle of it, make the scale of it larger, smaller. So to me, this is just the most powerful app I've been able to create so far. And it's got really a ton of different features to it and abilities and capabilities. But there's some real world uses for it, like taking an image, bringing it in, and just color separating. So let me just close it so I'll get back to the default settings, reopen it again, and show you from scratch with a different image. Let me load an image file, and let's just pick this image here. Just a test image of 3 colors, but it's not black, white, and red. So let me scroll down to 3 colors for the palette. Go down to this, and we're gonna, actually we're gonna want to try and pick the colors for the palette instead of black, white, and red, because it's set to 3-color mode. We could try the Set Palette Colors Automatically button and see what it gives us. It got pretty close. I think it might have nailed it. So we would normally have to set those colors. Let me change them back to black, white, and red so I can show you how this would work. If I know the colors from looking at it and I say, well, it looks like it's blending these 3 together to make all the others. So I would click on the black. It opens up a thing where I can try to set it, but I could just left click over here now, right on the original, and it'll pick any of the colors. I can even hold down and drag it and change the color in real time. So I'm going to left click on that color. Then left click on the white, change it to that orange. and then left click on the red, change it to this brown. Okay, so left clicking over here when you've clicked one of these will change that color in the picker, and that changes how it's separating the original image on the left into this image on the right. And we'll scroll down and we'll look at this maybe as separation 1, 2, and 3. And with an image that's already constructed, this is a test image I made, but a lot of images are not going to be that perfectly made out of just the 3 colors. But it's the starting point from how you would work with stuff in an automated way with algorithms like this on an image. And so it's basically the whole thing I do with my programming and developing and working into images with digital color, how to extract it and work with it and control it. And it starts from doing tests and making sure you could actually capture something that was made a certain way. So this image is built out of these 3 colors, and it perfectly extracts them into the separations, which I can also view in halftones in real time and save it that way, or save each separation by itself, and change the settings in real time. So we're getting away from having to go through, with a lot of the other products I did over the years, was building Photoshop actions and plugins, and then trying to figure out how to do that stuff outside of Photoshop. So now we're finally there with standalone software that runs on its own, and it can take an image in, convert it to all these different types of color separation, channels, in gradients, or in halftones, even interlocking the halftones together. And we can save that right out and work with it, and it can do high resolution stuff as well. So I'm just going to conclude the video here, or maybe, no, I want to show one more example, just how it can work. So let's load an image file in and pick something like maybe this easy image here, okay? We don't want to have those 3 colors be the ones that are working right now, but just as 3, I don't think 3 would be enough, but I'll show you. We load the image in, and maybe we don't have the halftone mode enabled. It can just recolor an image into any 3 colors you want, and it'll try to approximate it, how it should. But if I left click this and say, well, let me make that the color there, let's get the pink and maybe the black, so that converts it to just those 3. Maybe I try the purple instead. Maybe we go to 4 color. Okay, so click the palette colors to 4, but that won't change it. So you have to scroll down here and set the separation colors mode to 4. It might take a second the first time it loads, but it shouldn't on the additional times you run it when you have the app open. Okay, and now let's try this pink here, this purple, the black, okay, and this white, or maybe there. Yeah, see, it's not even a perfect white, so it sort of helps that we can select that color there. We still need the blue, so let's go and make it 5 color separation colors. Give it just a little bit to load. And it's usually just the first time you're running the app. When you keep it running, you won't have to wait for that each time. It's sort of loading a complex algorithm behind the scenes. So then we can set the colors to 5. Left click this, set that left click here. Okay, so we're 5 colors, 5 color mode. We've set all 5. It's 10 by 13 inches. Resolution is only about 92 dpi, so we're going to need to up the resolution to get some clean halftones out of it, because this was just like an AI generated image. But if I click halftones mode, you can see it's converting it into the halftones. And if I uncheck that and just look at the separations, separation view mode, separation 1, 2, 3, and 4, this is like channel separations, which you would normally try to do in Photoshop, but you'd have to go through, and there's separation 5. You normally have to go through and manually click and sort of start extracting from the image all through these steps and processes, each part of it. And it's really a lot of complicated steps. And the whole point of what I've been trying to do over the years was I didn't want to get into teaching all this stuff when I knew that the tools were just lacking. And I really set out to build better tools. So this is the better tool to do these kinds of things now. And we can go to adjustments and change the image size. So if I go higher in the image size, and you got to be careful, but this image was just, let me scroll down to the settings. It was only 928 by 1232 pixels. So when it's only 92 dpi at 10 inches wide, I can scroll up here and actually make it a lot bigger. So I'll go to about this original filters before halftoning on the adjustments tab, image size, we're going to do, we'll try 200%, and then I'll scroll down and show you. So then that makes it bigger in the pixels, which then at the same inches wide means it's higher resolution. 185. So if we go to like 400, we'll scroll down here. That would be about 370 DPI. And we'll just double check that it's processing. Sometimes it won't process because it's too large at that point for the GPU. You really got to have a graphics card in your system for this to work. Click the halftones on. There we go. And we can do certain things to, like, you can sort of try to adjust the halftone contrast. You can change these settings. I wouldn't mess with them too much at first until you really know what they all do watching some of these videos. But oh, I want to make the LPI higher. Let's go to like 45 LPI. And if you see some of this noise at times, you can try just moving these around. Let me move the black to the first one, and maybe purple, and then pink, and then the white. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, moving the white there, it kind of puts too much of it out in those regions. And this is stuff that I still got to improve on, just how it works with an image that really wasn't perfectly made. This is just an AI generated image. It's low res. It's got, you know, lots of other colors in there. It's not perfectly made out of these colors, but we can pick the colors from the art and then have it approximate as much as possible. And if I save this, go to the Save tab, click Save, it'll go to the Downloads folder. I'll just hit Save like that. Can minimize and try to go to that. Oops, Documents. We'll go Downloads and double click this file. And so you can see just how smooth it really is at 45 LPI, at that lines per inch, okay, at that resolution. And it really saved it all out. Now at 300 DPI, I don't think you should really go printing it, screen printing it at 300. We could try to get much higher resolution dot for that. And I'll show you a couple different ways to do it. Keeping the app open, I could try to go higher, but sometimes the image when you go higher is going to sort of fail. If I go 500%, it'll keep the halftones, but if I went to maybe like 600, it would probably disappear and go back to looking full color. And that's when you know it's not actually processing anymore. So let's try 500%. So we're getting a lot out of it at about 464 DPI. But what we can do is there's this special mode I set up, and it's something I'm still going to improve in the next versions, where I just make it automated, but you can save these quad tiles. So now it's going to go through and tile the image each of these different ways, and I'll save a different named version each time. Okay. And we're going to go to this folder. Let's just view it. I'm going to make a new folder. Okay. Just like right click, new folder. And then I'm going to take these images it made. See 01, 02, 03, 04. So just need those 4 images. It's like the tiles that it's split. And we'll put them into that folder. The other thing I made the software come with now, it's just this little helper app that, so we'll go ahead and do download extra apps.zip. Let me go to the downloads folder. In the extra apps, I'll double click that. I'll say extract all. Okay. Go to downloads. And inside here, there is this thing called image tile combiner. Or actually, no, this tile merger right here. I'm going to right click that. We're going to copy it, bring it out to the downloads folder. Right click, paste. Double click in here. We're going to do extract all. Extract. And I didn't write this software. So this software is something someone else wrote, but it's an open source free software you can go and download online. And it's just this tile merger app. It's a very simple little app for PC. And again, if it asks you about, not recognizing the app, just click more info, run anyway. And what we can do is do source directory, browse, go to that directory in the downloads, the new folder that I made. and it detects 4 images found. And then we'll say a target file, we'll just do browse, and we'll be in the downloads folder. We'll just say 4 tiles merged, hit save, process images, and it'll go through, or actually we don't want to do this number of columns 4. We need to fix that. So let's go back to this downloads up here, get rid of that. I'm just going to delete it. Okay, go back here. We want to make sure if we're doing just the 4 tiles, we want to do 2 columns. So it's 2 columns across, 2 rows down. Let's hit process again. Try that again. Okay, there it says 4 tiles actually merged. Let's minimize that. Double click on this. So now I've actually created a much higher resolution version, twice the resolution. So you can see the dots are much cleaner. When you zoom in, you can see much sharper edges to those dots. They're more rounded than the other version was looking, right? This one, these dots were more like chunky, you'd say, more pixelated. And in the new version, more rounded. That's because it's basically taking, let me go back to the app here, the resolution of 464, and it's doing it in 4 tiles, so it's actually making it twice the size. So it'd be like 928 resolution. Now the cool part is we can even go 4 times the resolution, and we'll do save 16 tiles. So let's prepare the downloads folder first. I'm going to go here and we'll just move this 4 tiles merged one into the new folder and move this one there too. I'm going to do another new folder. We'll say 16 tiles. And then what we'll do the app is just say save 16 tiles. And we're going to have to go through, maybe let it just pop up all these windows first. Okay? Because we're going to want to save each one and not have it sort of stop us from doing it. And I guess when you're using the desktop version, it doesn't automatically save to the downloads folder. It has to pop up a window to ask you for each one. So for these 16 tiles, we'll just go through and really hit OK on all of them. But just want to wait till it's done. Okay. Now I can go here and there's all 16 tiles, 0, 1 through 16. It names the files with just a little number in front. I'll just shift select all of those, drag them into the 16 tiles folder. This is really not that complicated to do. And then I can run the tile merger app. This time I want to change the source directory, so I'll do browse 16 tiles. And we're going to change the target file, browse, just change it to say 16 tiles. And then here's where you change the number of columns to 4. 4 columns across, 4 rows down, process. And it may take, a minute or so. It runs pretty fast for me. But I see the image pop up here, and it's combining them together. And so even this step of using this thing to do this, I'm going to really program this all into the next version. And that's why I've got this set to be a lifetime upgrade deal. I just keep making improvements to this software, but I've always wanted to have a tool like this, and I just can't stop from continuing to improve it and add all the features that I would want in it. And so we need things to go very, very high resolution. Even if the original image is low resolution, it's just an AI generated image. We want the final version to be high resolution when we go to these halftones if we're going to be doing things like printing it. And if I open up this 16 tiles merged image, it's 21.4 megabytes. It's going to be, let me just do the calculator here. It's going to be that 464 DPI times 4. It's 1800 DPI. So it's really extreme resolution. And if I zoom in, you can see that these dots are almost perfect. They're not going to be vector shapes, but they're going to be very, very clean dots, even when you zoom in on it, when you're at 1800 DPI resolution. Okay? And really, there's no software on the planet that's going to be capable of doing this easily or even at all. There's really a lot of things I'm doing in this stuff that you can't do in Photoshop or Affinity Photo. There's no software that you can do these things in. And that's really what I'm all about, is doing the stuff that I need to have in the tools that I work with. And so I've just got to the point I had to craft the tools myself. And so that's what ScreenTone Eternal is the latest evolution of that process and that project, my flagship software that I've got available. And like I said, 50% off. It's only $200 right now. And you can get that as an upgrade deal from the other software. It comes with all the other things. And so I'm going to continue to make videos about this and the other products and put them on my channel, as well as show you guys how to make these things if you watch the videos. And with the product, you'll get tutorial videos that also teach you how to modify it yourself. So anyway, we'll finish there and we'll just continue the series in another video. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get updates about more videos when I release them. And purchase the product if you really think you'll find some use out of it. You can go and subscribe online. If you email me, I'll set you up with a way to subscribe to it. Right now, I'm transferring the way that the subscriptions are done. But that's like a rent to own. So you could start trying to use it for $10 a month and you'd just be paying in towards that price. Or you can just buy it outright. And from what you've seen, you know that you're going to be able to use it. You can contact me via email or phone for support at any time. So again, this is just the introductory video to ScreenTone Eternal. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.